First world, come in and take a seat. Pay us no attention, it's all conspiracy. We have satire and parody, some funny, some perverse. If none of it's offensive to you, you'd be the first.
Why doesn't the hero reveal himself and tell us your true name? You do have a name. My name is Gladiator. How dare you show your back to me? Slave, you remove your helmet and tell me your name. My name is Fun My Comic, and I represent all the campaigns you shadow banned and kicked off your website. Huh? Creators that just wanted to fund, that wanted to be left alone. And we will build a website that is going to bury you all. Oh crap.
Get ready for awesomeness.
I've done it. I've done that.
Hello, welcome one and all to another daily video with me, EB, that's Earth's Best Entertainment. Please, if you haven't already, now it's scrolling across your screen. Get on over to www.earthsbestkickstarter.com. That is my Fund My Comic campaign for Earth's Best Friends book number 4. Tonight, I've got Doc Blalock in the house. What's going on, my friend?
What is going on, Michael?
Hey, it's we're hanging out, and I see Pops in the chat there. Thanks, Pops, for tuning in. I appreciate it.
Hey, old Pops.
And I will not be looking at comments from this moment on, as I am driving now. But I appreciate
I will take
you
care of
tuning
that
in.
for you.
It's going to be a fun night. Yes, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I'll watch the chat. You watch the road.
All right. Yes. That is the way to go. Remember the last time Pops was in the chat, he's like, "Hey, don't get into a car accident while you're on the network." I was like, all right. I promise I won't.
Right. Now, I wanted to say,
joking, of course, but
before we go any further, that's your daughter in the intro. She is adorable.
Yes,
what a precious child.
Yes,
what a
right?
precious child. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and she's grown so much that was about a year ago, and she's grown so much. It's crazy how much a kid can change in a year.
Oh, hell yeah. They grow up so fast, it'll stun you.
Yeah. Oh, man. Like, it's almost like I'm watching it in reverse time, because it feels like, wait, how did you get here already?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. She's going on 10 years old. It's crazy. 10 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. Right.
You know.
Yeah.
My grandkids are driving cars.
Oh man, that must be pretty. Like,
you talk about something that'll make you feel your age. You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. And but that's how I keep track of how many years I've got with my wife, because we were married the year my daughter was born. So it's like she's turning 10. I got 10 years this year married.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you. We're actually celebrating next weekend. So I won't be doing laundry live stream. Well, I won't be doing it this Saturday or next Saturday, because I've got something going on Saturday morning this weekend, but then next weekend I won't be in town, and then next Thursday as well I won't be doing a show. So yeah, I'll be cutting my streaming short next week. So because of that, but yeah, we're going up to the mountains. We live in New Hampshire, so we're going up to the White Mountains, and it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Right. Yep, Pop says that Doc is not the new spokesman for the recruitment of a certain branch of the military. Just making sure we're clear. Yeah, I'm not going to speak for the current leadership of any of the branches of the military. I just know my Navy that I served in, we were the shit. The biggest Navy in history. We were the kings of the seas.
Yeah, I think even the military that existed just 10 years ago is a completely different one from now too. Because I temporarily joined the Army in 2011. It was only for boot camp, apparently, because they didn't catch that I have scoliosis and MEPS. No. They let me go down to boot camp and find out the hard way. Yeah. So I got like two months into my training, and they were like, "Oh, you can't train. You need to stop immediately."
Oh man,
I was like, "Oh, yeah, right." Just when it was gonna get fun too. It was like, the drill sergeants are starting to respect you a little bit more, a tiny bit more. And a tiny bit feels like a lot when you're in boot camp. I'm sure you remember that.
Oh yeah.
And we were doing combatives. We were about to do some of the fun stuff, like learning how to lob grenades. And then that was when I was kicked out, right before grenade training.
I remember Navy boot camp. We call them, or I don't know what they call them now, but your drill instructors were called company commanders. And our company commander was a machinist mate first class named Keith Randolph. I'll never forget him. He was all about 5'6", about that big around, pale white like he'd been bleached in the sun, blue eyes, and he talked like Clint Eastwood. He never yelled, not once. He would just always talk like this. And we could hear him across the parade field. Everybody else,
really?
All right, y'all. And he'd go, company, halt. And we would stop because we heard that voice. He made it carry. Tough little guy. Tough little guy.
Yeah. You have to be, right, to be a company commander.
I guess so. He was cool.
So they were officers, the instructors in the Navy, right?
No, they was enlisted men.
Oh, okay. Because commander to me makes me think officer. So that's interesting.
Yeah. The Navy, as you know, has a completely different rank structure and
it's different.
Table of organization. Like a division in all the other services is huge. A division on a ship is like deck division, mess division, division.
I see.
So a division is tiny. It's the smallest unit.
Yeah, right. Oh man. But yeah, even back then I think it was a lot different than now. So it's just crazy how much things have changed in the last 5 years, really. I think that's really where you can see all the nonsense and just all the change. We won't try to get too political here, but you can just see, you just go back to 5 years ago. What was that, 2018, right? It was a lot different,
It's not political to say that culturally this woke mind virus is destroying Western civilization.
It definitely is. It definitely is. I don't know if that's political or not. Probably blending the line there, but that's fine.
As
long as as pops don't yell at us.
No, this is the kind of stuff I talk about on my show all the time.
Oh, okay, perfect.
When I served, our biggest threat was 100,000 nuclear warheads pointed at us by the Soviet Union. Our biggest threat today is pink-haired they/thems screaming for their pronoun rights.
It's crazy. It is. And actually that's not our biggest threat. That's just the distraction, right? Because we just had Putin claiming United States threw drones at him last night.
Yeah.
So there's the real threat, right? There's what we should probably really be paying attention to rather than the he/her things. But the problem is the media wants to cover the he/her stuff a lot more. Yeah, and there's a reason for that, right?
It used to be when a threat pinged on the radar anywhere on the globe, the military would go on alert standby. And I remember doing that many times. Now they call emergency pronoun training.
Oh my gosh, that's a real thing.
The pronoun training is. I don't know if they do emergency pronoun training, but
just training in general. It's insane. It's insanity. I just don't get it. I don't get it, and I don't like it. And
I don't either. But, I have the luxury that you don't have. You're a young man making your way in today's world. I'm an old dude. I've already made my way. I don't have to navigate that crap anymore.
That is true. It is something and definitely my kids will be dealing with the next decade as well, the next couple of decades.
Well, yeah, unless your generation deals with it,
Yeah, exactly.
But this took a dark turn. We didn't mean for this to happen.
Yeah. Well, we'll try to pep it up a little now. So, Perotta is in demand, which is awesome, and I'm pretty excited for you, Doc.
Thank you.
And I can't wait for. It's like we were talking backstage. It's like it's kind of a relief once campaign season's over, right?
Yes. You can only shill your own product for so long and so frequently before you start to feel like a parrot.
Right.
I'm excited.
Like a broken record.
I love the story, or I wouldn't have done it. But boy, campaigning will suck the life right out of you, and I'm thankful.
Yeah.
In the regard that I've got people like Pops and my publisher Anthony Romano They really did the lion's share of it. I just had to show up on a show and go, oh.
Right. Yeah. Shout out to Dark Gift Comics. There we go. I said it right this time.
Yeah. He doesn't care. It doesn't bother him a bit.
Right.
He
Well,
is,
I always like to try to get it right for myself, just so that I'm not I'm not saying the wrong thing here. You know,
I didn't think, Michael, going into this, I knew that I could have a business relationship with Anthony. You know, he's a decent guy, and I believe in him. I believe in his integrity, or I wouldn't have trusted him with my project. But we became friends over the course of the project, and he's a genuinely decent guy. I really like him. So that's always a plus, man. You never know where you're going to end up making.
Right. It's true. You never know. And I've been very lucky with the folks that I've partnered up with the exception of maybe a couple in the very, very beginning when I was doing a different project altogether. Actually, I think I've talked to you about it. It was called Untitled History of the World of the Human Condition. It was
yes.
very, very
yes.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a title, baby.
It is. And I think the title might be the best thing that came out of that project because it is quite a title. But that title kind of explains just exactly all of it, right? It's so like, not prestigious, the snobby version of prestigious.
Pretentious.
Right. Like, pretentious. That's the word I'm looking for. Yes. It was so pretentious. And I had fourth wall breaks within fourth wall breaks. It was just, I don't know what the heck I was thinking with that. Like I said, I was in college and I was taking this humanities class and I was inspired by Cubism. And I was like, I want to do for writing what Pablo Picasso did for art.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think my moment that was like that, where I knew I wanted to do my own books, was the first time was as a kid. And I was blessed that when I was in high school, they had a national media festival, and one of the categories was illustrated book. Well, I went, comic books are illustrated books.
Right.
So me and a buddy of mine entered that thing every single year that we were eligible, and we won it. We won every year telling our stories, doing our comic books. Well, I mean, and they were terrible. They were awful.
Right.
Like, I would die of embarrassment right now if anyone saw them. But it didn't matter.
But you probably didn't go up against too many things that were really much better, right?
Well, it was, people were doing illustrated books like, they'd write a little bit of prose and here's one illustration and, do it that
right
way. And we were going all out, 30-page, on classic white friggin' sketch pad paper. We didn't know what we were doing. It wasn't Bristol board, but we had a good time doing it. And it kind of gave me the bug for storytelling. I put it on the shelf and did other things. Life happens. But I've always done art. I never stopped doing art. I sold my first professional piece of work when I was 15 years old, and I never stopped. And so, that led into fine art. And then I did another stint in the early 90s doing comic books, got out of that, kept doing the fine art the whole time I was a counselor. And now I'm back doing comics again. And, when I first waded into this community of independent creators, it was like, I'm not even sure I fit in here,
right.
I just want to do a book. I'm not really big on the whole shilling and the community and blah, blah, blah. But I met so many cool people, and I realized, this is every bit as challenging and rewarding as painting. And the storytelling bug has bitten me. So now I'm like, in my mind, I'm 5 comic books deep into what I want to be doing. And I'm like, now I'm thinking, not can I hurry up and get back to painting? Now it's like, can I hurry up and start the next book?
Oh, awesome.
So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I mean, hey, it could be. I mean, I guess it's all a matter of where your creative energy takes you, right? Because it's a good thing if that seems to be your your fixation or your love right now. You know, it's like you loved painting, not that you don't love painting anymore, but this is somewhat, I guess, not new for you, but it's newish, right? Because it's resurged, right? Because you did comics for a while and then stopped and then came back to it, you know. So sometimes you need that refreshment, you know.
Well, it was just really strange to me that I guess the only downside, the whole campaign, which was months worth of work, funded for the same amount that a painting would sell for, that I could do in 2 days, you know.
Wow.
So you kind of go, the money versus what do you really want to do right now? Well,
right.
I suppose it speaks to how much I want to do it, that I'm going to move right into the next comic book instead of going back to the easel and painting.
I mean, I suppose theoretically you could do a painting, sell it, and fund your next book, right?
I could.
I don't know how long that takes you, but probably not as simple as I make it sound. But
no, in 2017 I did a painting a day. So there was over 365 paintings in that year.
Wow, that's awesome.
I paint very fast. I'm an impressionist landscape painter. So you're out there, you know, and the light's going to change in 30 to 45 minutes tops. So you got to paint fast. And, you know, if you don't get it one go, you go back to the same spot, same time the next day and hope you have the same light and you continue.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, you know, painting is easy to me.
Right. If you've been doing it forever and got the skill and everything.
Yeah, it's the little tiny details in drawing that get you, you know.
Oh yeah, right.
Like behind me, you can't see it because there's a halo back there. But behind me, there's a double-page spread on the book that I'm working on, and it's basically a landscape, but it's a montage.
Oh wow.
And I was like, cool. I could have painted this in 20 minutes, and I've been drawing it for 2 days. God.
Oh yeah. Because drawing's a little bit more labor intensive, right?
Yes, much more so. Much more so.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have painted it in a few hours, and it's taking you days to draw. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting how that works.
Yeah. But you know, it's all fun, or I wouldn't do it.
Oh yeah. That's the big point. You know, you got to make sure you're having fun with it all. You know, some people say that it has to be a business or that you have to be business minded, and I'm like, I'm not sure if that's really true. It really just depends on what your situation is and what the purpose of doing the comic is. You know.
Yeah. If you've got a good business mind, that's great. If you don't, be like me and get a publisher. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Or even for me, that even though I am trying to sell books and I am, you know, I would love for it to pay my bills someday. I do treat it more as a hobby just because I don't have the full time. I don't have the time to really dedicate to it. That would really require of me if it were a business, you know.
Yeah. Now, you know, I'm blessed that I'm retired, so my time is my own. But as my wife pointed out, you know, you're not really retired if you're working this hard, are you? You know, it's like, okay,
right? That's true, right?
Because I put in a full day. You know, I'm back here before the sun comes up drawing, and I don't stop until after she goes to bed. Many nights, you know, just working nonstop.
Yeah, and but are you really working if it's something you really love doing?
Well, you know, that's the question. It's you know, there's that payoff you get from creating something. And
exactly.
The person who's never really created won't get that. But it doesn't matter if you're whittling or if you're doing horticulture, it doesn't matter. If you create something, you get it. But at the same time, you know, as a counselor, my job as a counselor was much easier than what I do making art. It takes a lot more.
Oh, effort.
to do it.
Sure. It's a little more labor intensive, so to speak.
Yeah. So you're putting in the work, but at the same time, you're getting that gratification from seeing something come from in your head onto a page or a canvas,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's awesome about it. And I mean, for me, I'm a writer. So it doesn't take me long to write a comic script at all, really. Some people say that if you're writing that fast, you're probably no good, and maybe that's true. Maybe I am no good, but
I don't believe that.
But either way, well, but it just I guess you could say it comes naturally to me. Like you said, you could do a painting in 2 hours. That's kind of how I feel. It's like I could write a script probably in that time, maybe even less.
Right.
And obviously you got to edit it and you go back to it and change things from here to time and stuff.
Yes.
But for the most part, it's done, right?
Yeah, that's exactly the way I treat my visual art. Is the same as I do for my writing. I do it and then I step away from it. And then I come back with fresh eyes and I look at it again. Does the art need tweaking? Does this script still work? Is this line maybe better said this way?
Exactly.
The fact that you created that quickly doesn't mean the process is over.
Right. Exactly. That's a good point too. And then by the time I cut up the script, as I go page by page when I give it to my artist, I'll even reevaluate it before I send it to him, and I might even make some changes at that moment. Say, hey, you know what? I don't know what I was thinking at the time when I wrote this, or it's like, well, now that I've kind of changed the story a little bit, I have to make it evolve to fit what I'm thinking now.
Yes. There's even the way I'm doing it, I just physically mail the pages to Anthony. He scans them, to get them ready for print. And then we're doing the scripting. As we're doing the scripting, I'm making changes, now that I look at it, I think this would be a better line. Let's say it this way. And normally, Michael, I'm kind of a evil dictator when it comes to my words. Like I would rather somebody change my art than change my words. And but Anthony, we were doing a scripting a page, and he goes, "Well, I know how you feel about your script, Doc, but what if this guy said this instead?" And I went, "Yeah, okay, that works. Let's do that," because it was better. It was better,
right.
Like, don't you tell anybody I let you do that. He said, I did that just so I could get an editorial credit. I'm like, oh, you son of a.
Right. Just so they could weasel themselves in there. That's how it goes, though. That's how it goes,
Yeah, but overall, it's just been a good experience, and I've met so many cool people, worthwhile people to know. You're a good guy. You're a brother in Christ. Pops is a good guy.
Yes.
Crusty old badger. I like him. We talk almost every day, whether we're streaming
he's
or
a
not,
good guy.
Talk.
He's a good dude.
Anthony's good people. I like old Rex Christian. He's a brother in Christ. We talk, and but then there's that circle of people that you love to be on panels with. Max, Devill. I love hanging out with Carissa and Laurie, and even Rich in small doses. Don't tell him I said that.
Fair enough.
Christie Shinn is fun to stream with. It's an eclectic bunch of people that probably have nothing in common except comic books and a love for graphic storytelling.
It's true. Which is fine. That's what the community unites us all in, right?
Yes,
and you're right. There are definitely folks I've met through the network that I've found that I like streaming with. You being one of them, of course, and Doc Bishop. I've just done a few streams with now. He's very funny too. Yes.
He and Amy are good people. I like both of them.
Yeah. I've met her once on a stream. Yeah, she seems pretty cool too.
She's one of those very brainy people. She spends a lot of time up in her head,
Oh, I see.
and very intellectual. and I like her very much. She's very cool. Yeah, First World Comics.
Yes, Doc Bishop's First World Comics. Yes. First World. See, it makes me think of the Weird Al song. First World Problems. But yeah, I recently adopted his 20-second little First World to be the beginning of my show. Oh, forever. Ever since I started doing the Saturday morning live streams, and that's one of the ads that we play. It's like, that's my favorite one to play, man. That's my favorite one to play.
Yes. If none of this offends you, you're sure to be the first.
Yes, yes. It's great. It's great.
RJ's got one that gets stuck in your head. Your favorite podcast is Critical Blast. And I'm like,
yes,
no, it's not. It's not my favorite podcast. I have my favorite podcast, but I like your jingle.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever heard of them, Comics Perch, or they just call him Perch. Yeah. So every now and then he has an intro that goes, da 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 da. It's Comics by Perch. It's like, wow,
stuck in your head.
And that's stuck in your head, yeah, man. But I don't know. Some of these guys studied musical marketing. Some of these guys know how to get their jingles.
Yep. Now I went for, like in my trailer, I said, I am not capable of doing that. I can't make a cool jingle. But what I can do, because I am a musician, so my son and I recorded some music for the trailer together. He's a musician. He has a studio. And I'm a musician.
Oh, excellent.
We recorded the first part. But then I said, I want a just back-breaking hardcore metal second half. So I talked to a buddy of mine that was in the band Damage back in the late 80s, early 90s. And there was a particular track I wanted. And I said, can I use it? He goes, well, you're going to have to tell me what you're using it for. So I showed him the art and told him the story. And he was like, hell yeah, do it. So I put that in there.
That's good. Yeah. The music in that Pariah trailer is awesome. But that's not him, right? That's someone else, right?
No, the first part is me and my son. The second part is
it is.
The heavy part is the band Damage.
The band Damage. Okay, I remember you saying that. So I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
I actually lost the Battle of the Bands to the band Damage one time. I wasn't happy about
what?
That. I thought we were better, but they had a bigger following. So
that's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Yep.
The bigger followings always win.
Yep. And they're friends of mine. They were good guys. The lead singer has since passed away, but he was a good guy.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I knew him from when he was 17 years old doing his first singing gig. And
wow,
he was a cool kid. I really liked him.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing some kind of voice acting work for It's Best Friends, maybe for a non-crowdfunding trailer that you got to play in the beginning of my show. Like, I've been experimenting with different types of videos and stuff. So I did one called Comics Explained, Earth's Best Friends, because I got the idea from the YouTube channel Comics Explained, and so if you actually, so it's my other. So actually, no, I put them all on this YouTube channel now, Earth's Best Entertainment, because now Cornerstone Ministries is pretty much devoted to Christ, subject of Christ.
Right.
So this is now Earth's Best Entertainment, not Earth's Best Entertainment 2. It's right. Change is always happening.
Yep.
I fail the keep it simple, stupid mantra always. This used to be so. But yeah, I've done some Comics Explained videos, and I like the format, but I think I could do like a 30-second version. That I think would be kind of cool for like an intro or
are you a musician, Michael?
Trailer. No. I mean, I could do voice acting work, like if it was like a TV show or a comic book or a cartoon or something. But no, I mean, I could sing. I sing for the church worship team, but I don't have any instrumental abilities.
Well, I was going to say, get with our buddy Timothy Fling. He's an accomplished musician and composer. Anthony
Okay.
is a rocker, and he writes good stuff. You know,
Excellent.
there's a lot of musicians. Now, I'll tell you this. I think that if you have any artistic talent in one field, you can do them all, because the same creative energy that you draw from can apply to any of those. You just got to learn the technical parts of it, and you'll pick it up easily. So, like, if you're a good writer, you can learn to paint. If you can paint, you can draw. If you can draw, you can write. If you can write, you can play music. You know,
Interesting.
I was 20 years old before I was ever even tried to play an instrument. So I went and I bought a guitar at a yard sale. Went to a store, bought an amp, and I played it all weekend after I learned how to tune it. And by the end of the weekend, there were like 20 songs I could play. A week later, I auditioned for my first band. A month after that, I played my first show because it just came naturally. And it was drawing from that exact same creative energy that allowed me to paint and to draw and to write. Now, Pops is saying Indie Comics Explained. The network.
Yeah, pop that back up. Yeah. So that's a good idea. I would have to study everybody's books, and they'd have to give me. I'd have to like talk to. But I think I could do that. I could probably do something like that. I could probably, especially with like Wonder Duck. I think I've or J.D. Calderon's book. Of course, the name escapes me right now, but yeah, I've dabbled with reviews, but Comics Explained is a nicer way to do things like that. If it's a book that's really cool. Yeah, exactly. I'd probably have to like study one a week, and I'd probably have to film like 3 studies ahead of myself or something.
Yes, you would, right? Because that is time consuming.
Yeah, because obviously with my own stuff, I know what I'm talking about, right?
Now, I would,
and sometimes I don't.
I'm like Pops though in this sense. I don't ever want to review art or books. I don't want to be a reviewer. I was on when I first came here. I was on a panel over on Well Red's channel, and they were reviewing something. And I didn't have the book, but they were asking me what I thought of the art. And fortunately, it was really good art. So it was easy for me to say, yeah, this is really good. You know, blah, blah, blah. I pointed out what I liked about it. But then I was like, that's not something I want to get into. You know, I don't want to review people's work. I just want to enjoy what I enjoy.
Exactly. Yeah, I did a few reviews for a little while, but they didn't really catch much. The only video that got like 100 views was when I did Eric July's I Saw Him #1, and of course that was going to get a lot of views because it's controversial as much as it is popular. you know?
And I don't know why. I don't know why people have to try to create controversy. My man made a comic book. Leave him alone. You know. Back it or leave him alone.
Well, he created the controversy himself. Really, he dive bombs into controversy, Eric July, but he seems like a cool dude either way, and he's got, and I thought the book was all right, but I think the hype definitely made it way out of proportion for sure.
You think? Now I haven't bought
like
a copy yet.
This is the God killer, right? So to speak, the Judah killer.
I haven't bought a copy yet. That's not to say that I won't. I just haven't.
Yeah.
Having a tornado hit your house and deplete your savings will wipe out your ability to back the projects you want to back.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but when I get a little more clout financially under my belt and a little more liquidity, there's a crap ton of books I want to back. Yours is among them.
I appreciate that.
I need some Path of the Pale Rider. I need Carissa Grant's Worthy Chaos. I need London Gothic in my life.
All right, Pops. Well, thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate it. I very much appreciate you tuning in with us tonight.
All right. See you, Pops.
And does he say is that Tim Fling he's talking about in 5 minutes?
Yeah.
So definitely. All right. So folks, if you haven't, if you're interested, 5 minutes, because my show will end in a few minutes anyway, give or take. I mean, we could talk for a while. We could go right up to 10 if we really want to, but yeah. So Tim Flings has a show on the network, on Madness Network, in a few minutes. So definitely go check him out, because he's a good guy as well.
Yeah, Timothy's good people.
He is. He
Man,
is.
I ate right before I came on here because this has been one of those really intense work days where I've stayed at my easel all day, right? And I didn't even think to eat since breakfast. And
oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, and the wife was going to bed, and I was like, "All right, honey, good night." And then I went, "Wait, did you eat anything?" She's like, "Yeah, I ate." And I was like, "Well, thanks for asking me if I wanted anything." So,
oh gosh.
so I went and just reheated some lasagna, and I ate it.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful, of course, but Italian food always gives me cotton mouth, so I feel like I could drink a lake dry.
Oh yeah. It's got to be that. It's got to be that cheese, the ricotta cheese in the lasagna.
No, because it's any Italian. Maybe it's basil. It's got to be one of the herbs. Basil,
maybe it's
oregano.
It's basil or oregano.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of those Italian spices, right?
So
no.
So my immediate goal as soon as we're done is I got to go brush my teeth.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel you on that. I wake up with cotton mouth sometimes, and I'm like, wow, I need a drink. I need to brush my teeth.
Yeah, that's
always
the struggle, because the first thing I want when I wake up is coffee. Coffee. The first thing I think every day when I wake up is, of course, thank you, Lord, for another day, and then the next thought is coffee. Now, either the wife got up before me and she made some, or I've got to go make it. Either way. But I got to go brush my teeth, man, because you wake up with that breath that can knock a buzzard off a poop wagon.
Gosh.
And then you don't want your first sip of coffee to taste like toothpaste. So I developed the trick, take a swig of your coffee, swish it around, spit it out. That gets the toothpaste out of your mouth, and then you drink your coffee.
Oh, all right. Guess that's a good way to do it. But then does that kind of counteract your teeth brushing?
No, because I'm going to drink coffee all day anyway, Oh,
all right. Yeah. So it's just, Oh, well, you don't put sugar in your coffee, do you?
No. I drink mine the way God drinks his. God drinks his black. I drink mine black. It's in
Fair enough.
Second Opinions, chapter 4, verse 3. Thou shalt not add anything to thy coffee. The Lord thy God hath commanded thee.
Second Opinions. I love it. That's a good one. It reminds me of Doc's campaign, the Opinionoid Crisis.
Yes.
The Opinionoid. It's like I said, he has got me as a full-fledged fan of First World. I am a full-fledged. I'm not sponsored by him. The Madness is sponsored by First World, but I'm not sponsored. I'm just a fan.
Right.
I play his trailer because I'm a fan.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I play the trailers of stuff because they sponsor the network, but they're not my sponsors. Exactly. I play them because I like them.
Exactly.
Exactly. There's some people I'm fans of them as a person. And then there are some books where I don't even know the creator, but I'm like, I got to get that. That looks great.
Right. It depends. There's one way or the other, It's true. Sometimes.
And many times, by the way, it's both. I know the person and they have an awesome product.
Oh, yeah. And they have a good book. Yep.
Now, Rich is a jerk, but he's got a great looking project coming that I can't wait to get. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a very talented artist, too. So this is the cover that he actually did for me, and he's doing more. So that's what he's done for me, and it's awesome. I love it.
That looks very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, and then my boy Gabriel Nissi, finally got back to me. His phone was stolen. I think I've told you before that I was worried about him, right? He lives in Nigeria. He kind of disappeared on me. Well, he came back to me, and he delivered this to me, man, which is also really cool.
Look at that, man.
Yeah. Wow.
Amazing.
Right? Dude, like, yeah, he's a very talented kid. And I say kid because he's only like 22, 23. And
I think about
the talent that Marvel and DC are missing, man.
Yeah, true story, true. And he's living in Nigeria, so
so
what you pay him for a page is what we make in a month here,
Yeah. I mean, he could live quite. I think he could live quite well off what I pay him per cover, and he's also my character designer, so you see some of his characters, like this and this.
Oh, heck yeah! Look at him, man.
Yeah. His colors, man. It's his colors.
He knows what he's about, man. This guy is good.
Yes, he does. He is. Yep. And this is a sample of what he was starting to color.
Now you got to find.
It's not his illustration, but it's color. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Find a way to get him on a stream.
Yeah, I know. We have a time zone difference. And I think he has. Well, they have a problem in Nigeria where like part of the day, or like part of their day is on generator power because they don't have electricity for a full day from the power plants. So I did try once. I did have him on a stream once, but his internet connection wasn't working well enough for him to actually talk on it. So he was like on screen, but for some weird reason we couldn't hear him.
That's a shame. That's awful.
It is. Yeah. And then it's just been about trying to get him back on. But yeah, you're right. I do got to get him on a stream. I got to have Gene, my artist for my main comic. That's Gene Pedroso right there. I finally got him on a stream like a month ago when I did my book launch live stream. He came on for a bit, and it was actually great because it was like the first time we ever verbally talked to each other.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, this is actually the first time we're actually talking like face to face. He's like, yeah. He's a good guy too. He's down in Brazil, so I know the exchange rate is very nice between dollars and Brazil bucks. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
Whatever they are, but yeah, it's like I send him my payment, and it equates to about 480 something.
So just saying.
Yeah, so it's like more than 4 times what I pay him. So.
Yeah, and the reason I said that earlier is not stereotyping. I went to college with 2 guys that were from Nigeria. They were brothers.
Oh yeah.
They got back their first student loan refund check, and they almost passed out. They're like,
"Oh man,
this is a fortune to them."
Right.
Right. I mean, it's a big chunk of money to us.
But, we think it's pretty nice, but for them, it's probably they can live off almost a year, maybe. Who knows, right? At least a good few months.
Yeah, they send that money home, and it feeds their family forever,
Yeah, exactly.
So, God bless the USA. Even in a recession, we'll be better than most of the world. We got to remember that.
Yes, we are very blessed to be here. I was listening to Jordan Peterson talk to this guy, Robert Schiff, and I don't know how good or accurate of an economist he is, but he was the guy that predicted the 2008 downfall. And he was saying that we're headed for a pretty big disaster because the government actually instead of they use inflation to pay their debts, basically to pay the debt. So that's the reason why Americans are able to live above their means is because of that. And it's like once the world once that has to come to an end, we're gonna end up having a big dramatic cost of living change and life change, so it's pretty scary because I don't feel like I'm living above my means.
Right,
I'm already kind of struggling here and there, you know. But I guess that's from an American perspective, right?
Well, I'm blessed that the particular area that I'm in is it's very affordable to live here. Like,
oh,
you
good.
know, for the price of you know, a home, a modest sized home anywhere else, you could buy a big ass house here and live nice. So, you know, we're blessed in that respect, but you're right. You know, there's look, the check comes due sooner or later. You can't just spend forever with no accountability.
Exactly. And that was the reason why the gold standard was so good. They couldn't spend beyond beyond how much gold they have.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So doing away with the gold standard, now the dollar is based off nothing. It's a promise based on an IOU, based on nothing, you know?
Yes.
And
it's
so
literally
that's
a piece of debt.
yeah. It's a piece of debt. It's and he was even saying that technically dollars aren't even currency. They're actually promises of currency.
Promissory notes against a debt. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. A note is it's a promise. Yep.
Yeah, you know, and of course that always gets my adolescent brain kicking, because I remember when I was learning about the gold standard as a kid, I'm like, well, who decided gold was valuable? Why is it more valuable than this rock? Than, you know,
well, he did explain why. He did explain why gold is so valuable. It's just a very versatile metal. I mean, you can melt it down into a ring, right? You can buy yourself a gold ring, but you can melt that gold ring into a coin, and then you can melt it again into something else. So it's just so versatile. There's not any other metals that can really do that, right?
It's fungible. You can take
it is.
The gold that your wedding ring is made out of might have once been part of an Incan ceremonial wedding mask. You don't
exactly. You don't know. So you can melt it down. You could chop it up into little tiny dots. You know, you could pay for your coffee theoretically with like a little marble of gold. You know, little more like a BB of gold, I guess you could say. But the point is, like, I mean, you could theoretically chop up your gold that way.
It's only valuable because people think it's valuable.
Right. I mean, value is more of a construct in the grand scheme of things.
It is subjective.
It's still subjective. It is absolutely, because the reason why, you know, the Spanish were able to get so much gold from the Incas or from South America was because the natives didn't find any value in the gold. You know, pretty. So it is definitely subjective.
Useful. It was pretty, and it was useful, but it was not currency.
Right, because they traded in marbles and beads and food and stuff, you know?
Yeah. It's just always tripped me out that the world is the way it is, and I'm that guy that just kind of quietly goes, I wonder why this? I wonder why that?
Yeah. It's like well, how did we even get so gold obsessed?
I'm the guy that wonders, what did Adam think the first time he farted?
Yeah, that's a good question, right? I wonder if he did before or after. I'm sure he probably didn't until after the fall, right? Because if things were perfect, you probably weren't farting until sin made everything terrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, who says a fart is terrible though? You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's a good point, right? But well, you know what? He probably wouldn't have been embarrassed. Because the sin is what makes us embarrassed about it, right?
Right.
Or makes it a taboo.
My thinking in my head, I pictured that he farted and went, "Good Lord, what was that?"
Yeah, right.
Am I developing the ability to speak from both ends?
Yeah, right. You think he might? Yeah, that's a good point, right? It's a good question.
And Adam and Eve,
I guess we'll never really know.
Have belly buttons.
Yeah, that's true, right? Because obviously they didn't come out of a womb.
That's right.
With an umbilical cord. Yeah. And
now, the movie Dennis the Menace with Mason Gamble.
Yeah.
Explained to Margaret, the little girl, how does the doctor get the baby out of the mama? He says the belly button, it opens up. And she looks at him and she's kind of, oh. And then she says, well, why do men have belly buttons? And he goes, so they don't look dumb in a bathing suit.
That's good. That's good.
Perfect child logic. Perfect.
It is. It is, right? And it's like that's
that and the saying, forts don't got carpet. I just
right.
Profound wisdom. Forts don't got carpet.
Forts don't got carpet. Right. Oh yeah, because she was being like, well, we should put down a carpet and then it's like this is a fort. Get out of here.
Yeah. Forts don't got carpet.
Forts don't got carpet. Yeah, it's a good movie. It
is.
It's one of those. It's one of those movies that like. It's like, yeah, it has a story, but it's really just kind of like a slice of life. Like you're really just following the antics of a boy, Yes. Same with The Sandlot. It has a story, but what it really is just capturing childhood.
Yeah. What a great movie.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Great movie. Good wholesome fun.
It is. It is. It's a lot of fun. I did get tired of it at one point because it was the movie that was playing a lot in the break room at Walmart when I worked there. So you see it 500 times. It's like, yeah, it's a great movie, but I'm done.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies that back in the days of VHS tapes and VCRs that my kids would watch over and over.
Oh yeah.
And I would get so tired of them. But then again, you don't care.
Your kid. No, as a kid, you love it. Yeah. Exactly.
The first Ninja Turtles live movie was one of those.
Oh man.
My youngest son is 32 now, and that was his jam, boy. You couldn't tell him nothing.
That was his. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm a little bit older, but I'm in that same age range. I'm 36, so yeah, I know exactly how he feels about the Ninja Turtles live movie.
I remember there's one line that stays here: "Death comes for us all, Rokasaki, but when it comes for you, it will be without honor."
Yeah.
Just stays with you.
It does. It does. It's weird, right? And that first movie was pretty good. It was. I remember being a kid, being so used to the cartoon that there were just things about it that was like, why? For instance, Splinter not being Hamato Yoshi, but his like owner was Hamato Yoshi, and I'm like, right. I never understood that because in the cartoon, Hamato Yoshi was mutated into Splinter.
Right, exactly.
So I was like, what is this? And it always bothered me, even as I got older. I was like, why? Why do they have to do it that way? Like, could they at least? And then when the Michael Bay movies came out, I was like, all right. I was annoyed by the Splinter origins in the original live action movie, but the Michael Bay version is even more ridiculous. The Michael Bay version is he was just a rat that learned how to do karate from a damn book. Like, what?
and there was this too from back in that day. My little toddler son is going through my studio at that house was the old dining room. So you could either get to the kitchen by going down the hall into the kitchen, or you could cut right through my studio. He cuts through the studio one day and he's singing to himself, United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Bolivia. He could sing all the countries of the world. He knew the whole thing. That's what I just did, is as far as I can go. But I just stopped and I listened to him as he went in the kitchen. He's still singing it. He gets him an Ecto high C, and he walks back through. He's still singing it, and I'm like, "Holy cow!"
Wow.
So the Animaniacs were my boy.
Animaniacs, yes, they. Oh yeah. See, I did watch it, but I don't recall that. I don't recall that video or that episode.
Yeah.
Same with there was a President's song that I remember a little bit.
Yeah.
And
the states of the United States,
and there's the states. Yep. I know the states because I used to do some classroom observing because I wanted to be a teacher at one point. The teacher actually played that that Animaniacs one of the states, and I was like, oh, I forgot they did this.
Yeah. Every now and then I'll get nostalgic for those days when my boy was a toddler, and I'll go look it up on YouTube. Yakko Warner Sings the World. And,
yeah.
It's still good. Those guys.
It is.
Josh Parnell, the guy who played Wacko, is an amazing singer. He's in a band called Rock Sugar.
Is he really?
Yeah, and they do parodies. They mash up songs like Don't Stop the Sandman is the cross between Enter Sandman and Don't Stop Believing by Journey. And
man, what?
You should hear him sing, man. He can hang with Steve Perry,
Wow.
Amazing voice. And there was an interview with him where he doesn't name the singer. He says, but a particular singer was suing his record label for using his voice without copyright, without compensation.
Without permission, right?
But it wasn't your voice. It's this guy. And then he met the
guy,
right. And the guy was just blown away that somebody could sound that much like him,
Yeah.
Now, he doesn't say who it is, but obviously he's talking about Steve Perry from Journey,
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. So he thought it was a recording of his voice, and it really wasn't.
Yeah,
that's a testament to his skill, then, right?
Yes, it is. That's flattering. That's
right.
Like Claude Monet coming up to me and saying that's his painting that I just painted. I'm like, no, I painted this.
Right.
But thank you for the compliment.
Thank you for that compliment. Yeah. Well, I got to wrap it up, Doc. But thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. And folks, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, thank you for hanging out. Absolutely. And it's been a blast, and we'll definitely have to get you on again because this is a lot of fun to talk these things. And
always a pleasure. Always.
Appreciate that, man. And guys, thanks for tuning in. For those who were tuning in, I think everybody fled to Tim's channel as soon as I said, hey, go on over, check Tim out. They all left.
They'll watch us on the replay. It's all good.
Yeah, they'll watch us on the replay. So if you are watching the replay, I appreciate that as well. That'll be tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. As long as I can get the computer to cooperate. There have been times where it didn't work. So, yeah. But, guys, thank you so much, everybody. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye now.
Peace out.